Since 2001, Ralph Lauren has had a, quote, vintage collection where they sell old but also relatively new pieces from past seasons. And as someone who used to buy and sell pre-owned Ralph Lauren to pay his rent, I can confidently say these prices are out of control, and people are paying them. And some of the pieces added to this collection? But I think there's a lesson in all this. Thanks for tuning in to Coyote Shark. Here we have a 2009 mesh graphic polo shirt that sold for $175. We've got some big numbers, we've got some script, we've got some fishing poles. But check this out. Here's one that sold on Etsy for $35. Same shirt. Or check out this 2009 double pony polo shirt. Got some big old polo ponies on the front, got some bright colors. And it sold for $195. But check out this. Here's one for sale on Poshmark selling for $49. Free shipping. Or check out this 2017 dragon print polo shirt. Got a big old dragon on the front of it. Sold for $175. But hey, looky here. Here's one selling for $25 on Depop. Plus a little bit in shipping. Or check out this 2011 plaid patchwork vest that sold for $450. But looky here. We have pretty much the same vest, just a different color lining, that is going for $60 plus a little shipping on Depop. $450 or $60. Or looky here, we have a 2003 Polo Jeans Co. jacket selling for $395. Now for those that don't know, Polo Jeans Co. is a diffusion line, basically a lower quality line that Ralph Lauren used to offer. Their stuff is not that great. But this jacket, it's going for $395. But looky here. Here's the same jacket selling for $30 on eBay. Plus some shipping from Canada. Our friendly neighbors to the north. Okay, you get the point. Okay, so there are some practical reasons for buying pre-owned Ralph Lauren directly from Ralph Lauren. For one, there's essentially no chance that the piece is not legit, and if you've never bought pre-owned clothes before and you're looking to buy a cool gift for your vintage-loving Gen Z kid, and you know you can trust Ralph Lauren, it just makes the process a whole lot easier. That makes sense, I get it. In the same way some people are willing to spend more on a certified pre-owned car from a dealership opposed to cruising Facebook Marketplace. And I also appreciate the value of curation, at least when it's informed, thought out, and on some level exhibiting taste. But does that justify paying 3, 4, maybe 10 times what they go for on the open market? Outside of a few rare exceptions, in my opinion, no. So how does this happen? Well, here's my guess. First, we assume Ralph Lauren simply adding a piece to this collection implies that it has a certain timeless it factor.
What's up, boys? Styles Life coming at you live. So the stuff in this Ralph Lauren vintage collection is fire. It is fire. I mean, it's Ralph Lauren we're talking about here. Like, is there a more timeless style authority out there? Nah. I mean, for sure, they've dropped some mid stuff in their day. But it's not like they're gonna double down on that mid stuff and add it to a curation. Like, not gonna happen. Plus, I read this article in the Robb Report that said they're gonna feature the best stuff from their archive. Like, get ready, it's gonna be lit.
And then we're further seduced by how these pieces are presented with these gauzy cinematic pictures, opposed to the high contrast, oversaturated, sharp-edged, hyper-real photos taken by amateurs using iPhones in their bedrooms. And then whether flushed with cash or just unaware they can be bought elsewhere or just too impatient, we click complete purchase and eagerly await that crisp, deep blue package to arrive right at our front door. Now, some of these pieces are super cool and should absolutely be showcased for their timeless appeal, though I still think they're overpriced. And obviously opinions differ on what is a timeless classic, and I'm no authority. What I might find garish, another sees as super cool, and vice versa. It ain't everybody's cup of tea, I get it. But can we all agree that this thing looks like it's out of some boardwalk souvenir shop in Wildwood, New Jersey? So just because a popular influencer or a really of-the-moment artist or even a long-standing reputable brand like Ralph Lauren pitches something doesn't mean you should automatically assume it's a good value. We are all susceptible to taste authorities or culturally influential brands or whatever have you just absolutely fleecing us. I mean, okay, I was able to see through this because I'm very familiar with Ralph Lauren, but with something else, like I've been got before just with a different product. Wait, who am I kidding? I've been gotten with Ralph Lauren stuff too. So the lesson, always leave space for your own tastes, instincts, and judgment. If you saw some of these pieces being sold on eBay and you were completely unaware they were part of this vintage collection, would you still feel the same about them? And research what you're actually buying. Look past the vibe and curated presentation and fancy packaging to the actual tangible product. That piece of jewelry being shilled by some cool influencer might be absolute Alibaba crap. And the markup would make you want to puke. Now, some of you might be out there rolling your eyes at me for being too practical. Saying something like, Mr. Coyote Sharp, I'm not buying this, say here, fancy hand soap because it more thoroughly cleans my hands or smells significantly better than the cheaper alternatives. I'm buying it because everything from the packaging to the labeling to the way the people dress in the commercials makes me feel good and aligns with how I'd like to see myself. It signals shared values and taste. Hey, fair enough. And I think on some level we all do this. Plus, we're almost always making purchase decisions without complete information. But I think we should all at least strive to have the self-awareness as to why we buy certain things. Or maybe even all things, but that sounds like a recipe for driving yourself nuts.
What are the labels on these bananas trying to signal? I'm on to you, Dole. Your subtle ad campaign can't fool me.
Just buy the damn bananas, man. Just buy the damn bananas. Or here's an alternative theory. Perhaps there's a perception among some that because these pre-owned clothes are coming from Ralph Lauren, a place we kind of associate with cleanliness, if you may, they have been rid of every remnant of the previous owner's filth. In the same way some feel about a fancy hotel compared to an Airbnb. And if you're that type of person, I want you, the next time you're curled up in bed at your $700 a night hotel room, to think about what the previous occupant might have done with your pillow.
Hello.
Because though it's $700 a night, I bet they didn't replace the pillow. So yes, value is subjective. But when the same item sells for 4 times less on the open market, and there's little inconvenience to shopping on the open market, it's hard for me to not conclude that the pieces in this vintage collection are just not a good value. And Ralph Lauren, you're my favorite clothing brand of all time. I'm genuinely thankful you exist. But I don't know about this. Look, I appreciate a legit hustle. I used to buy low and then add value through clean photos and transparent descriptions and free returns and perhaps on some small level my own taste, I don't know, and then flip for a profit. But my margins were nowhere near this. And you don't even offer returns. Like, are you just leveraging your long-standing reputation as a tastemaker to sell these vintage pieces at wildly inflated prices and then using these sale prices to convince people your current new prices are justified because these vintage sale prices demonstrate just how well your clothes hold their value? Like, if that's your game, damn, clever move, clever move. But maybe I'm missing something. So I'm curious to hear what y'all think. And as always, thanks for tuning in to Coyote Sharp.